Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. Just gonna give it a moment for people to join. All right, so thank you for joining us for today's Windward webinar. My name's Jennifer and I'll be your moderator for today's presentation. As always, at the end of the presentation, we will have time to take some questions, so you want to enter them into the question box. Please make sure you have a lot of information in your questions, so if it's from something we covered at the beginning of the presentation, we know how to answer your question the best we can. If you think of anything afterwards, you can email your questions to support@windwardsoftware.com. Today we'll be discussing employees and timesheets, which is a great topic. And our speaker today is Den Michael. He's a software specialist that's been with us. I think he just joined us this year, which is great. So without further ado, we'll get started.
All right, so thank you very much for that introduction, Jen. So again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for today. I am Dan Michael, and I will be talking about the employee and the employee timesheet. So to begin, so what is the backbone of an enterprise? So whether the business is small, medium, or large, it's the people who matter the most in your company. It's the people associated with an enterprise that keeps it going. And what keeps these people going? So in most cases, it's the return, which is the money or remuneration or the salary for the work that they do, given the hours and the work that they spend on your business or enterprise. So System 5 offers a reliable and errorless solution for your businesses to track the work hours of your employees. So to begin, okay, here. For today, we will be discussing two particular topics. So first is where to find the employee timesheet setup and how to add or edit employee information in your System 5. So let's proceed with finding the timesheet setup. Normally, the timesheet is accessible from your navigator menu, but before you can see this feature, you must first enable the timesheet in your setup wizard. All right, so you can locate your timesheet setup in the setup tools, setup wizard, users and security, and user options. So let's look at this in our demo. All right, so let's go to our demo. As you can see, in my navigator menu, when timesheet is not in your menu, it means that it is not yet enabled in your setup wizard. So let's start by enabling the timesheet by going to your setup tools and then setup wizard. Right, let's just wait for it. And then you can go to your users and security, user options, and then use timesheets. You have two options here, the standard and the secure, but we'll leave it for now, and then we'll just hit close. All right, so once you have enabled the employee timesheet, you will notice that in your navigator menu, you have a new option called the employee and the employee timesheets. All right, so let's go back to our presentation. Now we will focus on adding and editing your employee information. So you have two ways of adding or editing your employee information. First is through the employee maintenance located under your employee and timesheets. Or you can also use the user and employee info tab. So let's move over to System 5 for a brief demonstration. All right, so if we go back to your user setup by going to your setup tools and setup wizard, all right. If we go to your user and security and then user options, when you enable your timesheets, you have two options. First is the standard and second is the secure. So in the standard mode, System 5 will display all of the employees available or active in the use of the timesheet. And in the secure mode, only the current logged on user is going to show up in your timesheet. Now let's proceed in editing your employees' information. But for this brief demonstration, we'll begin by using the secure mode for your timesheet so that we can focus on the currently logged on user, which is in this case demo. And then we'll take a look at the standard so that we can understand the difference. All right, so let's start by going to names and passwords and then editing the user. So this is the second one that we mentioned in editing your employee information. So let's begin by editing the user. In this case, we'll focus on the currently logged on user, which is demo. So we can go to edit user. All right. And then going to the employee information tab. All right, so you can notice that this particular user is not yet active in your employee timesheet. It is stated in your checkbox over here with the active status. So you can check this particular button in order to activate this particular user. And then you also have the ability to automatically create your employee record. If you select the Create Employee button, record button over here, the system will automatically generate the employee number and the first name for this particular user. You can edit the employee number by simply moving towards the boxes that you wish to edit. You can edit the employee number, the last name, the first name, the address, or if you want to edit more about the employee information, you can select the Edit Employee. All right, and you can edit their information by just typing in their information in these particular tabs. So you can select their employee number, their contact address, their last name and first name, their phone number, the department that they are currently with, their start date in your company, and their last date if they have already left. You can also add their contact person as well as the phone for their contact person. You can also add comments, free-form comments, lookup words, or add a new picture by simply by going to the picture tab and then just double clicking on the picture. All right. So the second way, in order for you to add your employee, is by going to employees and timesheets and then going to the employee maintenance. All right. So for this case, let's check up the setup wizard. All right. So we can actually see that notice that we are currently in our secure mode, but as supervisor, we have access to the employee maintenance. All right. And you can create your employee list over here. So you can create a new employee list and then just generating their information. All right, so same process. You can create their number. You can add their last name. So for example, demo last name and then demo first name. All right, and once you exit the timesheet, it's going to be added in your list of active employees. All right, you can also edit existing users by just pressing on the edit button over here. All right, or you can delete that employee by simply deleting it from your employee list. Now let's take a look at the difference between the secure mode and the standard mode. So in the secure mode, once you try to sign in as your employee, only the currently logged in employee is going to see their information. So in this case, it's going to be demo, which is the currently logged in user. And in order to sign in, all you need to do is to just click the sign in button over here. Click yes from the prompt, and there you go. Demo is now signed in for this particular period or particular time. So same process with the timeout. You can just sign out by clicking the sign out button and then clicking on yes. All right. So if we look at the timesheet, you can select the list employee timesheets over here, and you can actually select the date range for your timesheet. So let's end it here. And you can actually see that demo has a time in of this particular time, the user's timeout, and the number of hours that the user has actually used or rendered for your work. So if we take a look at the standard mode, all right, so we'll go back to the setup tools and then setup wizard. If you go back to your users and security and then user options, if you select the standard mode and then hit close, you will see that in the employee sign in, the rest of your employees are available for signing in. This is especially useful if your employee does not have an account, but you wish to sign them in using the sign in feature for the employee timesheet. All right, so that's basically how to set up and use your employee's timesheet. And that ends my presentation. So we'll be entertaining questions shortly. However, before that, I would like to also tell you that we also have resources available. If you would like to review this topic or previous topics that are covered in previous webinars, you can just go to windwardsoftware.com/webinars. So you can sign up for future webinars or view previously recorded events from this particular link. And we also have other resources available. So these tools are available. First, you can go to our help center in windwardsoftware.com/help in order to view the list of all our available resources. And you can also submit and track your currently created support tickets by going to support.windwardsoftware.com. And we also have our Learning Academy. So our academy is packed with a lot of training videos, which you can use to spin up new employees. And we also have lesson-based topics so that you can brush up on your skills in using the software. And finally, we also have our accounting role-based plan. We also have our technical role-based plan. So you can contact your account manager by going to windwardsoftware.com/professional services. All right, so we'll be entertaining questions and we'll be answering your questions now. All right, so Jen.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so our first question is from Joe. He's asked, how can he override a sign in or sign out, for instance, if if an employee has forgotten to sign in or sign out?
All right, so that's a very good question, Joe. So let's go back to the demonstration. All right, so let's assume that your employee demo actually forgot or signed in prematurely, or they signed in after your the time that they should sign in. So all you need to do is to just right click over here in the demo panel where the user is currently located, and then hit on supervisor override. All right, so once you click on supervisor override, there should be a red highlight over here, and then you can just edit the time that they have logged on. So for example, if they're supposed to log on at exactly 1 o'clock, so you can just do that one. And if they're supposed to time out at exactly 5 o'clock, so you can also do that one. So that would be about 17 o'clock, 17 in 24-hour standard time. And then you can just turn off supervisor override, and that's it. All right. So Joe, I think that's how you're supposed to edit or override the time in and time out of your employee.
Okay, and our next question from another Joe is, how does this generate ROEs and T4s? Does it transfer the information transfer over to that?
All right, so there should be a separate webinar for that one, Joe. We can discuss that particular information since it will include the payroll module for our system, the payroll module for Windward for that particular question. We'll discuss that one in a separate ticket.
Okay, no problem. So Joe, we'll get in touch with you afterwards to get an answer for that question for you.
All right.
Another question here from April. She's wondering if there's the ability to add a comment for supervisors to maybe add notes to the sign in or sign out.
All right, so we do have the ability to add notes to your employee. So thank you for that question, April. You can go to your employee setup, and then you can add comments by just adding them. You can edit that particular user, and then just adding comments in their information tab. All right, so if you also want to check on their timesheets, you can also check on their timesheets. All right, and okay, so I think that's it. That's how you can add a comment to your user or employee. Unfortunately, we cannot add it in the timesheet immediately, but you can add the comment to your employee itself by editing their employee information and just adding the comments, or just adding free-form comments.
Okay, excellent. April, I understand that's not quite what the answer you were looking for, so I'll take your feedback up to the management group and add that as an enhancement suggestion and see if that's something that we can make changes to in the future. The next question from Christian, when I double click on sign in, nothing happens. Is there a certain way I need to complete the sign in?
All right, so normally, Christian, all you need to do is to just click on the sign in. So for example, in this case, we're in the standard mode, so we can see all of the users that are active in your timesheet. So you're supposed to just click on sign in and just press yes. So if it doesn't work out, I think we need to check on that one. We need to have a technician check on that one, why that is happening. So we'll have to create a separate ticket in order to investigate why that is happening on your end.
Okay, excellent. So Christian, we will get in touch with you afterwards as well. If there's any more questions, please let us know now. We still have a couple minutes left. If there's anything else you guys would like to know. Our next webinar coming up is December 15th, and we will be discussing physical count, common issues, and troubleshooting. So that's a good year-end webinar. You won't want to miss that one. All right, well, I don't see anything else coming in the question box. So if there's something that you'd like to ask after the webinar, oh, sorry, I misspoke. One just came in here. We've got another one from Joe. He's asking, why is this easier than time cards? I guess that would be kind of a business preference.
All right, so it's up to you if you want to use time cards, Joe. But basically, it's gonna be easier for your it's up to your preference actually, Joe. But basically, this will create an easier way for your employees to sign in to System 5 or to your business as well, because all they need to do is to just log on to System 5, sign in, and then they can use their system immediately without the worry of signing in using time cards or filling up other timesheets.
Okay, great. And then Belinda has asked, how can employees without access to computers sign in?
All right, so for that one, Belinda, you can also use the standard mode in order for you to access a particular employee which has no computer for this one. So for example, Kristen Knight, in this case, she does not have a computer, or her computer is currently broke. So you can use the standard mode in order for you to sign in for her. So for example, right now, the currently logged in user is demo, but you can still sign in as Kristen Knight. So this is the basic advantage of the standard mode. All right, you can sign in as you can sign in for Kristen Knight in this case. But if you don't want your employee to see the sign in and sign out feature for your other employees, you can also just use the secure mode.
Okay, and a follow-up from Belinda, how can I log employees' lunch breaks?
All right, so for that one, Belinda, you can actually just sign in twice for your employee. So for example, demo in this case, for example, if this is actually the morning shift of demo, so we can time in 8 o'clock over here, and then we can sign out at exactly 12 o'clock. So if, for example, demo is already back from their lunch break, they can just sign in again, and that should record. All right, let's just hit supervisor over right here, and then demo should be able to sign in again for that particular day. So they'll have two separate lines for their sign in and sign out.
Okay, excellent. And then Jennifer would like to know if there's a way to print or view a report of the history of the sign-ins.
Yes. So basically, all you need, Jennifer, is to go to your list employee timesheets over here, and then you can select the date range for the timesheets that you wish to view. So for example, we'll start with December 1 only. And okay, let's just view that one here. There you go. So in this case, these are the current time-ins or the timesheets for your particular users for this particular day. If you want a specific employee timesheet, you can just view the particular user. All right. Okay, let's see here. Okay, should be able to view it here. Oh, there we go. You need to double click the user and just click on timesheets. So that's just double clicking on the user over here and then just clicking on their timesheet. So if you want to view their timesheets for a specific period, let's say, for example, the entire month of November. All right. So let's just do that one here. There you go. You can actually see all of this time in and timeouts for this particular employee, as well as the number of hours that they have rendered for these particular dates. So if they have timed in and timed out for twice for a specific date, it should also add it here as a separate line.
All right, and then we have a question from Erica. She'd like to know, is there a way to delete multiple staff from the time card versus deleting them one by one?
Yes. So if in order to delete multiple users from your timesheet, all you need to do is to just go to employee maintenance, deselect that particular user that you wish to remove from your timesheet. All right. And then you can just delete them. All right. You can delete them immediately. There you go. That's it.
Can you do more than one, or do you have to do line by line?
All right. So for that one, I think you'll have to do it one by one. But you can deactivate multiple users all at once by just deselecting the active button over here.
Okay, excellent. Well, that looks like all the questions for now. So we'll end it here. But like I said, send us an email if there's anything else that comes up. And there's a couple people we'll touch base with afterwards as well. So thank you guys, and thank you, Jen Michael, for presenting today. You did a wonderful job. And then we will see you in 2 weeks, December 15th. You guys have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Jen, for today. Have a great day.